was very rude when he said that it was fine if I waited in line all day for these but just got this. Hey everyone, so as you probably already know, I went to the Labubu Begin to Energy drop last week at the Pop Mart Flagship Store in Hongdae, and it was definitely a time, and I still have a lot of feelings about the whole thing, so I am going to take you through my experience of going to this. And for those of you who don't know, I am an English teacher who has been living and working in Seoul for several years. So for a little bit of background, I didn't like Pop Mart very much at first because I didn't and don't like Molly that much, and it seemed really expensive, especially Molly. But I saw Lisa's unboxing video and I am a Blink, so of course it piqued my curiosity. So in the video, she actually has a Zimomo for the most part, and she only has a Labubu for a little bit of the video, but Labubu is actually my favorite. But at first, I wasn't really interested in Labubu. I was interested in the character called Pookie because Lisa unboxed Roly Poly Kitty, which I thought was so cute that I had to get one for myself. So it started with Roly Poly Kitty, and then of course the YouTube algorithm clocked me and I saw a few videos about Labubu and Labubu's backstory, and I thought that it was really cute and interesting, and I love her 9 little sharp teeth and her being cute and clumsy and mischievous. So that's where I'm coming from on the whole Labubu matter. I'm definitely not into it just to stop other people from getting them or anything like that. So I do have a whole video about my very first Pop Mart haul and what I thought of that, and I put some of these opinions kind of and feelings and how I buy blind boxes in that video, how I avoid gambling with blind boxes, and actually ever since then I also realized that a lot of my favorite Labubus besides these two don't come in a blind box. I actually prefer the ones that come with clothing in the clear boxes anyway. So yeah, since then I've decided I also don't really like exciting macaron, although I did buy one for one of my family members who was curious about Labubu. So as you might also know, before this event I already had Baba, who has a hat and it's missing, and Wings of Fortune, who has this outfit, but also I made her a new outfit. And recently Pop Mart had a really big restock, and so I was at that Pop Mart and my friend had requested this one, so I got her this one. If I had played my cards a little bit differently, I might have been able to get Wings of Fortune first and have a seat second. Really, I think the name of the game when it comes to getting a Labubu, even if it seems like they're all sold out, is just to wait and be patient, because I do think that eventually they will restock and you will get one, and you just need to have some patience and serenity. And so back to the story, I thought I'd enter a bunch of contests that are randomly selected for the Labubu version 3, which is Big Into Energy, because I really loved the fluffy design, and again, there's definitely not a single Labubu on this box that I don't like. I love their tie-dye and fluffy design. And actually, first I did open Love, but I did trade her for Serenity because I loved Serenity from the promotional materials, because Serenity was always meditating and I just thought it was really cute. But personally, I think Luck and Loyalty, especially Loyalty, are gonna be super popular, and they're gonna be ones that people are buying and trying to get. But yes, I'm very happy with my mint green. When I unboxed Love, I also really liked it and I was not disappointed. I just happened to trade for Serenity. I think you should tell me which one is your favorite and which ones you think are going to be the most popular from version 3. Or you can tell me which one in general is your favorite, if you have a favorite like from the Checkmate series or from the Have a Seat series. So I obviously didn't win any contests, and so I know that in other countries people had to literally camp outside of the store at like midnight and wait all night to get Labubu version 3, and I did not have to do that. I showed up at like 10:40 a.m. I found the line at 10:45 a.m. and I was like number 68th in the line. But here's what happened. So the Pop Mart Flagship Store has 3 levels. So the first 2 just have regular stuff, and they just opened the 3rd floor, which has popular items but is mostly Labubu themed, for version 3 Baking to Energy, and has many photo zones for Labubu, which I was also excited to take pictures with. Also, when you buy them, you're supposed to get like a photo card and some prizes, although I did not get prizes, and I will explain why later. But I was definitely excited to go to the pop-up and take pictures, and so I got in line around 10:45, and this was not the line to enter the pop-up. This was the line to register my email or phone number, and then after 2 p.m. they were going to start letting everybody else into the store. So between 11 a.m. when the store opens regularly and 2 p.m. only people who won a contest could go into the Labubu pop-up and buy Labubus. Also, I knew from informational posts on social media that you could only get 2 of each item, especially the Labubu dolls, and basically 4 per family, and I had a feeling that they were going to ask me to show my ID, because recently when I bought the Labubu for my friend who specifically requested this one, I did have to show my ID for that item. But I did use Samsung Pay to buy it, and that will come back around later. It kind of works like getting a number at a deli. You get your number, and when it's your turn, you will go up and get your stuff. But the kicker is that they weren't going to start calling our numbers until 2 p.m. And I was about number 68 in line, so I knew they weren't going to sell out. But my estimated wait time was about an hour, and I waited about an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes to get into the store. So these are the items that I got from the 3rd floor, because right before I went in, I also saw this magnet, which I thought was like really great, and that was one of the only times I was really wanting to buy the whole set because they looked really good. But yes, I got 1 Labubu and 1 keychain. So obviously I'm not a reseller, so of course I wasn't gonna have any difficulty with the numbers. Some people really wanted to buy a lot of Labubus because there were so many suspicious reselling looking people in the line. I think a lot of resellers went to this pop-up thinking they were gonna buy a bunch of stuff and resell it, and that is not what happened. It was 2 per person. Some people tried to bring their kids to get even more Labubus, and then found out that everybody who bought a Labubu needed their own credit card and own ID, which, to be fair, I think the staff at the store should have been a little bit more clear about. Even though I think it's a fair rule that people can't use their kids to get more Labubus. And remember, we are getting in line to get a reservation at 11 a.m. and then our numbers are not getting called until 2 p.m. So we'd be waiting around all day, and also we'd have plenty of time to go home and get something if we needed it, like a passport or a credit card or something like that, or a physical credit card, I should say. I did have like a couple nice interactions at the event, but mostly people were not actually Labubu fans, and they were resellers. And there was one girl who really complimented my outfits, and she showed her friend, so I thought that that was really nice. But like I said, it was mostly resellers and people trying to make viral videos and viral family content who were in line for this event. And I've already seen like some resellers on Carrot Market, which is like a reselling app in Korea. But I had woken up kind of early that day and the day before actually for work, and I had waited all day and all morning, and then it was my turn around 3:30. And know that your reservation can expire if you don't show up at the same time that your number is called. So when I arrived, it was kind of chaotic because people who didn't read the Insta post and plan ahead were trying to cut in the line because they did not read the post carefully, and they thought admission, like general admission, started at 2 p.m. But actually, the reservation for general admission started at 11 a.m. and was long sold out by the time those people showed up. So I did see one girl, and I just like kind of took some pity on her because she was a tourist, and she didn't seem to understand the system or like have like even like Naver Maps downloaded and stuff like that. Like she was like one of those people who just didn't know what was going on. So I let her into be my like second person because it was 2 people per reservation, which was allowed. And like she also offered to take pictures of me in the pop-up, which again was really nice. So I picked out my items, I went to the checkout, and I showed 2 forms of ID from my phone. The guy at the checkout was not sure if that was going to be enough, so he called his manager. His manager said it was fine. Then I pulled out my phone and opened my debit card on Samsung Pay. And it is a real debit card on Samsung Pay with my name on it. And if you didn't know, Samsung Pay is very secure. You cannot even register somebody else's card on your Samsung Pay account. If I had like pressed on the Samsung Pay app and like clicked on the card, it would have shown my name. But suddenly on the 3rd floor only, for these items only, you had to show a physical ID because they actually wanted my passport, and you had to show a physical debit card. So I was kind of devastated, thinking, what can I do? How can I get out of this situation? Because I didn't want to wait around all day and leave without my items that I'd waited all day for. And they told me, oh, it's fine. You can use Samsung Pay to get this. This is not the item that I waited all day for. I could have gone in 20 minutes and gone home in 20 minutes and just gotten this if I had wanted to. I waited all day for these, and I wanted to take a picture of these in the pop-up with the photo zones. So eventually a Korean girl chimed in, and she only got the Labubu pants, and I think she got some other item that was premiering. There were a few other items premiering on the 3rd floor, and so I think she got one of those. So she like got my stuff for me, and I happened to have cash on me for no particular reason, and I paid her with cash because also they were not only not taking mobile payments, they were also not taking cash, just cards with the name. And I don't know if this is some kind of anti-theft policy or not, but I could tell you I was really upset when the manager told me like, oh, it's fine, you can just get this. You can understand why I was upset. And so I paid the girl in cash. I didn't get my exact change back, so I ended up paying her like a few extra dollars, but I didn't mind too much because she was really nice and she was not like super judgmental or mean. So the other upsetting thing was that I didn't get any of the pop-up store gifts, which was not like that big of a deal to me because I kind of just wanted to go to the photo zones, but it was some kind of cool picture card holder thing. So I was a little bit sad about that. So basically then when I was in line, I was kind of holding up the line during my turn because I was trying to convince them to let me use Samsung Pay or come up with another idea. Like I was wasting time trying to come up with a solution to my problem. So some of the other people in the line were definitely mad at me, and that was very uncomfortable. And also, like, nobody was unboxing or taking pictures either. Like, they were like, I'm getting my stuff, I'm getting home, and I'm reselling it. Like, nobody was there to take pictures or open a Labubu or anything, which wasn't very fun, I'll be honest. So anyway, I waited for the girl who was a tourist who I let in to buy her stuff because she had to take care of some stuff with her debit card then after learning this information that nobody was told. And so I waited for her and I unboxed while I was in line. And originally I did get Love, which Love was really cute, and I really liked it. And she's super vibrant. Like, they're all really good. When she bought her stuff and she opened it, she got Serenity, who I said I liked, and so we traded Love and Serenity, and it kind of worked out because she also got Hope, and they look good together and they look very different. Well, otherwise Serenity and Hope look very similar, I think, especially in person. Like I said, I think Loyalty is kind of like one of those popular ones, and I think Luck as well. A lot of people in line said that they were, a few people in line said they were hoping for Luck. Yes, so I unboxed and she took a picture of me, and some people were staring at me like I had 3 heads when I unboxed, like, right away. Like, they were like, why would you not record it and try to go viral? And I was just like, no, I wouldn't take pictures with my stuff. Like, I'm here for fun, not to resell and go viral. Like, I don't know. I think it was mostly resellers, so I think that's why they were looking at me like I had 3 heads. But I had also held up the line before I unboxed, so maybe that's why. But also, it is important to note, once you got into the pop-up, there was plenty of room and it was not crowded. It was only crowded in the stairways leading to the pop-up where people were trying to cut in line. So yeah, I was a little bit turned off to the whole Pop Mart thing because I saw people acting so greedy and like trying to use their kids and everything. And I thought it would be more fun like a K-pop pop-up, which, like, I went to an ITZY pop-up once and I saw a girl who was a fan and she showed me like her concert pictures and the stuff that she got, and she was just super nice. And so I thought it'd be more like that, but it was really like a bunch of resellers and greedy people and people who are teaching their kids gambling or like gambling through their children. Yeah, so that kind of vibe turned me off, that nobody was taking pictures or like enjoying it at all. So also my virtual credit card situation was so silly because they have limits and they keep track of how much you can buy, but obviously I'm not a reseller because I wasn't trying to get the most amount. But more importantly than that, I was also turned off, particularly to the flagship store, because I felt like the manager was very rude when he said that it was fine if I waited in line all day for these, but just got this. I felt like that was really, really, like, really out of pocket. Like, I was not okay with that. And he was, like, just okay with my sheer disappointment. And I also felt like management had really like set this whole thing up to fail because I was not the only person confused, and that poor person at the cash register had to deal with everybody's confusion when they got to the cash register. And I think a lot of people couldn't get things they wanted that day. So I really think I was turned off by like the really like lack of customer service and communication. This whole situation and everybody else's situation could have really easily been non-existent if when you made a reservation they said, if you plan to buy anything from the store that you're reserving a visit to, make sure you bring your photo ID, a passport if you're a foreigner, and a physical credit card. They should have said, we are not taking cash or mobile payments ahead of time. In my opinion, like, that's all they had to do. And it's not just about me and what I want. I really did feel bad for the person at the checkout because I could tell he wasn't comfortable with English. I could tell he wasn't comfortable with the situation, and he was like really uncomfortable with people like speaking English and also being upset at the same time. So I felt like they had set up a really bad situation at the flagship store with just the most simple thing could have fixed it, because we made our reservation at 11 a.m. and we didn't go in until like 2 to 3 p.m. And so we obviously had plenty of time to go home and get our passport, get a credit card, get whatever was needed to buy the items that we're waiting all day to go for. So obviously I didn't wait all day to get this, although I do love this. So that is my story, and that is also why you will not see me hanging around the Pop Mart Flagship Store in Hongdae anytime soon, although I do love these magnets that I haven't seen anywhere else, and I am so tempted. I was so tempted to buy more. Again, in the comments, please tell me what your favorite Pop Mart item is, or Labubu item. Tell me your you can tell me your favorite item and which Labubu you're hoping to get, or which one you've already gotten. And please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye!